Section P.4 is starting to talk about polynomials, and we're going to be working a lot with polynomials. This is a pretty important section. To start with a reminder of what a polynomial is, it's an expression of this form, a sub n x to the n plus a sub n minus 1 x to the n minus 1, all the way down to the a1 times x plus a0. All of these a's with these subscripts just represent numbers, and all of the n's represent an integer type number. So the exponents are whole numbers, the coefficients are real numbers, and the polynomials are named by their number of terms. So if you have one term, it's called a monomial. If you have two terms, it's called a binomial. And three terms, it's called a trinomial. And you've seen these before, but just as a real quick reminder, let me give you an example of each one. A monomial might be something like 4x squared, one term. A binomial would have two terms, so maybe it's just x plus 7. X is a term, 7 is a term, so there's two terms. A trinomial, maybe it would look something like a factored form that you've seen before, right? Like 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. Something where you would then do some factoring with it, which we will do that later. But these would be examples of polynomials. As we're working our way through, we're going to hit some vocabulary as we go. Degree is to take the highest term, highest exponent term in the polynomial. So the highest term's exponent here would be 7, so the degree of this polynomial is 7. And the leading coefficient would be the number in front of the variable part of that term. So in this case, that would be the -1. All right, addition is the easiest thing that we probably could do for polynomials. We're going to combine like terms. So taking a look at what we have in the second example, these two terms have x squared in them. That makes them like terms. So we have -3 and +5, which gives us a +2x squared. We've kind of dealt with those. I'll mark them out. Our next terms that are like are the -4x and the -8x for -12x. And then, marking those out, we have our coefficients at the end. We have a +2 and a -7, which makes a -5. Only one step sort of removed from that would be to subtract polynomials. The one thing to remember here is to distribute the negative through the second set of parentheses. So in the first one we have x squared plus 2x plus 4, but then in distributing the second one's the negative through the parentheses, we have -x squared, -4x, and -4. Combining like terms, we notice that the x squared and the negatives to x squared cancel out to 0. We have our 2x and our -4x for a -2x. And then we have +4 and -4, which also add to 0, leaving us with a result of -2x. We'll pick up where we left off next class period.